Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of our literature podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Acosta, and in this episode, we'll be exploring the powerful short story Tribal Scars by Usmane Sembene. The story begins with a group of men debating the reason behind African tribal scars. Some say it's for beauty, others for status, and still others for bondage. The argument highlights the confusion and the loss of the practice through meaning over time. The core of the story follows a man named Amo and his young daughter Loom, who are captured by slave traders. After a chaotic escape from the slave-holding ship and a brief, fraught time living near the slave traders, Amo and Lom flee into the forest and eventually make it back toward their abandoned village. However, the threat of recapture is constant. To protect his daughter from being taken and sold into sexual slavery by the traders, Amoo makes an agonizing choice. He painfully scars her face and body. The scars intentionally make her undesirable and blemished in the eyes of the European and African slave traders who preferred unblemished captives. Liberate painful act of scarring marks. When the slave hunters return, they reject Loom, seeing her as worthless for the slave market. Amu's sacrifice starts a tradition. The scars, originally intended to mark a person as unfit for slavery. Analysis of this story. Feminist analysis. The most brutal forms of oppression often fall on women. Amu's desperate choice highlights the specific horrors women faced during the slave trade. By making looms sacrifice the catalyst for a lasting tribal tradition, Sambeni subtly used a female character's trauma and resilience to empower the entire community. Thank you for listening. I hope Tribal Scars inspires you to value your identity, your history, and the strength that comes from the overcoming challenges. Once again, I'm Jenny, and this has been another episode of our literature podcast. See you next time.